Welcome. In this video, we're going to have a look at the symbols of the different factions found in Rome Total War Alexander. This is Victus. Welcome to the channel. Let's begin with this amazing journey. Now, when you start in this screen, the faction selection screen, the first thing that you are going to be able to select is just Macedon. In this case, I have modified the files so we can be able to check what are the other factions and what are those symbols that interest us in this particular video. So let's begin with the first faction, the faction of Alexander the Great, the Macedonians. Let's begin with the faction of Alexander the Great, one of the most inspiring and influential generals in history. The first faction symbol on the list in Rome Total War Alexander is Macedon or Macedon. Let us check what is this symbol from the main faction in this expansion. Let's begin. First thing we see is a star on a purple background. An important thing to take into account is the purple color. In antiquity, this color was a symbol of wealth and nobility. Not counting that only the richest families were able to afford this tint. For starters, we already see the implications of greatness and nobility on this faction color. The next obvious thing that strikes us is the huge central star, which is called the Vergina star. The Vergina star, or the son of Vergina, is the most representative symbol of Macedonia. It is also called the Argead star. The Argead dynasty was an ancient dynasty that it is said had as a patron the god Helios. Talking about the Greek pantheon, the Vergina star is also the representation of the god Helios. We can see this star on depictions of the god Helios, and over here we see a detail on the head of the now inexistent Colossus of Rhodes. In the region of Greece, called Vergina, was found the larnax of Philip II, the father of Alexander himself. On that piece, on the top of the larnax, was carved the representation of the sun Helios. Also, a lot of Hellenic soldiers, the so-called hoplites, carry into battle shields with the image of the Argead star. As well, in here we can appreciate a drachma from the ancient city of Rhodes, with the representation of the Vergina star. In this picture, we can see the representation of Helios, which has a striking similarity with the bust over here that is allegedly the image of Alexander the Great. At the end of his conquest, Alexandros Megas was basically, for the classical world, a terrestrial representation of the sun god. The Persians. The name that Rome Total War Alexander gives to the Achaemenid Empire. The symbol shows us what appears to be an eagle or a bird, a black winged creature flying over a green field. This bird most likely represents the Shahbaz. The Shahbaz is a fabled bird in Persian mythology, bigger than hawks and falcons, and believed to inhabit the region of the Zagros mountain, the most notable mountain chain in nowadays Iran. According to the Persian mythology, the Shahbaz was a god who helped the first Iranian people to settle the region. Shahbaz, the royal falcon. It is as well said that all the Shahs of Persia had falcons as pets. And the Persians had as well a great holding this symbol, in Cyrus the Great. As it is recounted in this passage by Xenophon of Athens.
And the word went down the lines, "Eyes on the standard and steady marching." The standard was a golden eagle, with outspread wings, borne aloft on a long spear shaft, and to this day such is the standard of the Persian king.
Clearly, the Illyrian symbol is a white serpent under a brown background. A quick fact is that among the Illyrians, the serpent was a symbol of fertility. Two separate things might have a strong connection with the Illyrian symbol being an Ophidia. As we'll discover, this creature had a much more symbolism for more than one faction in this context. Possibly, you may know that in the ancient times, there were many cults, being the serpents an important member of the mythological pantheon clubs. The story of Olympias, Alexander's mother, and the parents of Illyrius, the father of the Illyrian tribes, are of the most interesting mention in this case. The first Illyrian was the son of Cadmus, called the Serpent Slayer, and Harmonia, his mother. Now, take note on this epithet given to Cadmus, Serpent Slayer. Both of them battling the region and conquered, then becoming the kings. The gods transformed Cadmus into a serpent. Immediately, Harmonia clenched to her man, pleading the gods to give her the same fate as her beloved husband, not able to bear her life seeing him transformed like this. Thus, while embraced, both became snakes. It's also said on the myth that they continue to live in this form within their peoples. The parents of Illyrius, first of the Illyrians. Now you follow. The serpent thus became the spiritual symbol for the faction in question. Not to mention that there were cities depicting serpents all over the place. Coins were found in most of them. Bylis, Apollonia, Dyrrhachion, Olympe, and Amantia, in Dardania and in Dalmatia as well. We mentioned Olympias before, and just as an additional fact, Olympia of Epirus, the mother of Alexander the Great, was a snake handler. According to the myth, it is believed that Zeus fathered her son in serpent's form. So who said the following statement?
The thunderbolt that stirs the course of all things.
Let us figure this one out, because now is the time for the Thracian faction symbol. The thunder symbol has been always related to the Sky Father, as is known the Hellenic Zeus and all its variants in the Indo-European cultures. Also, there is specifically an interesting rite that comes from the Dahae, a Thracian tribe, in which warriors would shoot arrows aimed to the sky when there was a storming raging on. This to represent in a ritualistic manner the struggle between the Thracian Zeus, called Zis, and the Chaos Dragon. Now, remember when I mentioned the snake slayer Cadmus previously? The same story recounted in different regions. Returning to the topic of the symbol, it is clear that in this instance the thunder has been related to the Thracian through Zis, the thunder god. As an additional fact, as is depicted in the Greek mythology, the bolt was a weapon given to Zeus by the Cyclops, as expressed by Heraclitus, the one that said the aforementioned statement. The Scythians, an equestrian nomadic people that migrated from Central Asia to nowadays the region of Crimea and the Asev, were specialist mounted archers. Their saddles, a very advanced artifact of the time, allowed the rider to stand and use the composite bow and shoot while mounting. This in a time before the stirrup invention, allowing the Scythian mounted archers to operate at a very high performance. The symbol, two archers over a brown background, show warriors with the Kerch composite bow, a weapon that influenced not only the Persians but also the Greek styles in warfare. The symbol here could be said that has a very strong representation on the way of doing war for the Scythian faction. An extra note on the Scythian composite bow is that the shape of the arrowheads made them the most powerful and advanced weapon of its time. Finally, we find the Dahae, another nomadic faction from the north of Persia, located on the Karakum Desert. In this symbol, the things get a little bit less clear. Even though we can see the figure of a bird with a sphere or circle in the chest, it is not so clear what bird this could represent. The research could lead us to the birds of the Iranian legends, in this instance, the Homa bird, a bird that, according to legend and myth, lives its entire existence flying invisible above the earth. Also, the myth says that the Homa bird is like a phoenix and symbolizes the death and renewal cycle. If this is not the case, and you have a suggestion, you can leave it in the comment section below. I would be more than happy to hear it. So we have reached to the end in this magnificent video that we all have enjoyed. Let's remember that this is something that I do for you, for the love of wargaming, Total War, and history. If you're a history buff, you enjoy my channel, hit that subscribe button. It is going to help the channel to grow and become something great. Thank you for watching. This was Victus. See you in the next one.